What up? It's your boy 2-3 Drees, man, and I flew all the way into Philadelphia so I can catch up with my guy, man. Special guest right here. We got Dom Curry, man, HBCU alumni, played in the NFL, and now he's doing big things with the NFL alumni. What's up, man?
Chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. It's an honor to sit here with you. I remember being a kid at Cheney playing on the team and see you walk in, and they was like, oh, he played for the Rams. And it was just like so exciting. And I was like, I hope he talked to me. And I went over there, shook your hand, and you gave me some play. I was like, I told you I knew Bird.
Right,
and
right,
you was
my
like,
guy.
yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Rest in peace to my guy, Bird, man.
Yeah,
But
man.
that was my first encounter meeting you in person. And now
Right.
we here sitting here. We gonna talk.
Yeah, man. I'm not no guy that's gonna be, act too big for people. I'm from North, so I'm gonna show love to my people. Man, you go to Cheney. Once you go to Cheney, you meet. You was, man. You mean see you for life. And it's true. We really mean that.
Right, and it's so funny that you say that you from North. You actually grew up right around the corner from me on Archer Street, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
Archer
like that's I'm from 23rd and Tioga, so we're not too far apart. And it's just a coincidence that we, like, you know what I mean, how the world works.
Right.
That we here
right.
today.
That's what's up, man. I've been supporting you from a distance, man. And I see the drinks.
Mhm.
I be trying to follow them. I can't mix the way you be mixing them. But
I can't mix it either, honestly.
Look, you've been having me I've been a mixologist. Since I've been watching your videos, but it's not. I ain't where you at yet.
All right, but we ain't here for me. We here for you, man. Let's take it back, man. From HBCU, the first HBCU, and just tell us about your journey playing sports and to where it leads you to now.
Man, it's crazy because I've been talking a little bit more, as you've seen. I've been talking a little bit more about it on social media because one thing about me is I'm always humble. I'm not going to sit up here and try to make it seem like I'm this guy and that guy. I'm just Dom. So I just started, the more and more I started posting about my journey on social media, the more and more people been just hitting me up like, man, appreciate you sharing this, because everybody just see the stories that's where the players are dominant high school, dominant Division I to the league. But me, nah. I played at a dominant high school at George Washington, but going to Cheney, the reason why I went to Cheney was because I didn't know if I wanted to play football or basketball coming out of Washington. And that was a tough decision because I wanted to make sure I was going to the right school. Like, I remember playing basketball, and I used to have Villanova football coaches at my high school basketball games watching me hoop. And then when it was time for me to sign, I didn't know what to do. So I kind of just sat out, waited it out, and then Hofstra University, they backed out because they had got a whole new coaching staff. And then the only school that I had was Dell State. Crazy thing is, at that time, I went to Dell State, worked out with the basketball team. They loved me. But for some reason, the football coach was like, he not good enough for a scholarship. So once he said that, I'm like, man, I'm trying to go to school for free.
Right.
So when that was said, my dad was coaching at Cheney. He was like, well, you can come here. He was like, man, you can do whatever you want. So I went to Cheney, played basketball, football, ran track, went to school for free. And that's what got me to Cheney. And just that journey there in Cheney, it was eye-opening because we didn't have a true receiver coach. We was teaching ourselves off of YouTube. We was losing a lot of games. We was having a lot of fun, but we lost a lot of games. I saw the difference in coaching and gameplay and preparation. And I just wanted to make sure that I was
facilities,
different.
right?
Oh, yeah. Facilities. Man, you might find a 45 dumbbell. You might not see it again. Like, it might be in somebody's room, on campus. But just seeing the difference, also making myself be different, because I always was different growing up. I swam. I did every sport I could to make myself better. And at Cheney, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't falling into the stigma of the typical HBCU athlete at that time. So I just made sure that I did everything to the best of my ability and ended up paying off, man.
All right, man. Let's talk more about HBCUs. And you see how today, trying to get a lot of more five-star recruits to HBCUs and things like that. But if you could see the difference of going to visiting Alabama, but then you see a HBCU locker room and their facilities and their gym, like, what would you want to choose playing in front of 100,000? Not 100,000, but like Well, Penn State do got 100,000,
Yeah.
but playing in front of like 100, like close to 100,000,
Right.
or playing in front of a couple hundred, like it's kind of hard to convince these top athletes to go to HBCU. So, like, what's your take on that?
I mean, you just got to figure out where you fit in at, because one thing about going to the Power 5 schools, that's like the Alabamas, the Texas, going to schools like that, they recruit Power 5 players every year. Every year. Whereas you can be a small fish in a big pond or a big fish in a small pond. So it's all about your play, your the type of roadmap that you want, because people will go to Alabama with the 2-year plan because they know in 2 years, most likely, I'm going to be a draft pick. People not going to Grambling or Southern University and say in 2 years I'll be a draft pick, because those schools typically pump out 4-year players. But now times is changing, whereas the presence of social media, the ability to scout a lot deeper than before, you can go to these HBCUs and become that star athlete that plays 2 years in college and get drafted.
All right.
So the dominance of social media, man, I'm not big on only going Division I. I'm big on going where you could play, where you can show your talent, and also like get a free education.
Exactly. So the NFL football season is here, and you have some experience in the NFL, and you've been basically keeping us update of like the process of training camp and things like that. And when you show up to training camp, you may be the best person that came from where you from, but there's a lot of people that show up like that.
Yep.
Just because you broke it down like nice and easy for people to understand that probably never even played football. So can you basically like break it down, showing up to that training camp and the difficulties and hurdles you got to cross?
Yeah, so normally everybody see obviously the combine and then they see the draft. So the draft, 254 players get drafted in the NFL every year. Not all of them make it. Normally it's like the first 3 rounds, first round, second round, third round. Those picks are kind of the guys that definitely are going to make the team. But then the later rounds, they kind of don't, especially now with the change in money. Because when I came out, my year was the Sam Bradford year. I don't know if you remember that year, but Sam Bradford got paid $50 million. Dominic Sue got paid like 46. Like that year was crazy. Like it was out there like Oprah, man. You get a mill. And after that year, they kind of restructured how they was going to start paying players. So they kind of took away from all those large signing bonuses as rookies. So now, back then, people that was in the 4th round was getting paid millions. But now it's not the same. So they got more wiggle room to say, you know what? I might have drafted you in the 6th round, the 5th round. You ain't cutting it. I'm not losing millions of dollars, so you could just go.
Right.
But after the draft, they have something called rookie minicamp. So when teams have rookie minicamp, they obviously bring in all the people they drafted. They'll sign rookies throughout college. They'll sign free agents. They'll sign even some veterans. Not a lot, but they'll sign a few veterans. So you go to rookie minicamp where it's 90 guys. So like my year, it was like 90 of us.
Right.
And you're there. Like for me, I walked in there from Cheney and I see like DBs from Alabama, Sam Bradford. I see cornerbacks from Oklahoma State. And I'm looking at these guys like, yo, I watch y'all on ESPN.
Right.
So like my first day, it was a little struggle because I was kind of like starstruck. And then the Nolan Cromwell was the receiver coach at the time. He actually pulled me aside and he just was like, look, if you wasn't good enough, we wouldn't have brought you out here. We're not going to waste our time. We're not going to waste our money. So it's time for you to get this starstruck out your system and ball out. And after that conversation, man, it was just crazy. Like it was just curtains after that.
I mean, you like the most athletic person I ever saw in person.
so I got a story for you, right? So we had this quarterback from Duke University. His name was Thaddeus Lewis, black quarterback from Duke University, Thaddeus Lewis. So we in the middle of the huddle. This was red zone day. We in the middle of the huddle. I got the basketball tag on my arm, right? So he calling the play and he stopped and he was just like, yo, you play ball? I was like, yeah. He said, you could dunk? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, he called the play. He said, I'm throwing it up to you. No lie. Said go, toss it up. So I just went up and got it.
Get it.
After I did that, when I say that whole red zone day, we just like toss it up the dime. Like it was crazy. And I was just able to show like my athleticism because before that, everything was like the quarterbacks are so precise. Everything was just in your pocket. You don't gotta dive for passes. Like everything was right there in your catch radius. But then when he did that, he was able to show the difference because even though the other receivers were good, but nobody was able to jump as high as me.
Right.
So that kind of separated me. But just to get back on track with the training camp, after rookie mini camp, they don't normally sign a lot of rookies. It might be 4, like might
Out of 90, you said
out of
90
90.
people show up. It might be 4.
They'll teams are bringing between 60 and 90 players, and it might be 4 outside of the rookies they draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they'll have OTAs, which is the OTAs aren't mandatory for veterans, but in the veteran contracts, a lot of them come to OTAs because that's where their bonus is at.
Right.
And you'll have the OTAs with the rookies and the veterans, and then you have mandatory minicamp. So normally around that time, it's really like 80 players. And then you can still get cut from there. And then you go into actual training camp with the equipment where they normally have like 90 players for the preseason games. And then they just keep chopping away. And then you got to make the 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
Then when making a 53-man roster, they only dress 49 players, 46 players.
Right.
So you may make the team, but you might not play.
Right. So, you went out there as a wide receiver, and you say it's a bunch of wide receivers from all over on your level or even better. How can you stand out as a wide receiver in training camp? Like, how did you stand out for you to make that 46-man roster or 49-man roster?
I just, outside of like my athleticism, I just kind of really started playing with special teams. So when I was there, we were really trying to get our team together. So first team, second team was really getting a lot of reps. Like you said, it's 15 receivers there. I'm a guy from a small school, so I'm at the bottom of the list just off of names alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be in practice for 2.5 hours and you might get 3 plays. And your 3 plays might be run plays. You never know.
Right.
You might not get any plays. I had my first training camp, I had a roommate. He went to Florida State. He was all ACC. He was a really good player. Man, he ain't get no plays. He got cut.
He ain't get a chance to show it, man.
I'm like, man, you know what he could do. He did it in college, but it's so cutthroat because as quickly as they cut you, they could just bring in somebody the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a revolving door, and it moves fast. But I just realized I really took heed into special teams because that year we had Brandon Gibson from Washington State, who he played with the Eagles. We had Danny Amendola before he was a Super Bowl champion. He also played with the Eagles. We had Brandon McCray from Mississippi State. We drafted Marty Gilliard from Cincinnati. We had Laurent Robertson, who's a record holder at Nebraska. We had Brandon, what's his name? Brandon Brooks from North Carolina. Like we had some guys, and everybody got yards. Everybody got receptions. Everybody got touchdowns. We had Donnie Avery. Can't forget him. Donnie Avery was the man. He was the man in St. Louis before we even got there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, all these dudes nobody's dropping the ball. Nobody. They catching everything. And I'm like, how can I separate myself? So we had a segment where we had the starting punt team, and the coach Spagnoli was like, let me get 11 guys on scout. I just ran out there. And I started killing, dog. Like it went from nobody knowing me to knowing my number.
Right.
You know? So once you get noticed, they don't know your name, they're going to start saying, who number 15? Who number 15? And then it went from that to them knowing my name. Now it's like, who blocking Dom? Well, Curry at the time. Who blocking Curry? Then it went from that to like me starting on all phases, which is kickoff, kick return, punt return. And that was the way I made it. I made it as the 4th, 5th wide receiver. And everybody else was like the dudes that be running around catching passes. And they was like, I
go put that work in.
I'll do that for a couple $100,000. You mean?
So, did you grow up an Eagles fan?
Oh yeah.
So I remember watching the game. You played against the Eagles. Mm-hmm. I know it had to be surreal. And you got a holding call. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
No. You know, I was like, he probably did that because he played against the Eagles. He like, what? No. I'm like, yeah, I think he did this on purpose.
Dude, I did not hold, man. First of all, playing against Mike Vick at that time, just as a freshly kid that was like a hardcore Eagles fan, literally a year before, that was a real moment. And then to play against my home team and be on my home team's news channel on Fox, like that was another surreal moment. But I ain't hold, man. I ain't hold. I broke my hand. Yo, I had broke my hand, and I had my hand in a cast. Mm-hmm. So I only had these 2 fingers.
So you couldn't
So
hold.
I couldn't hold. So when they called it, what happened was I do return, like he had the long return, and the guy realized he wasn't gonna get him, so he just kind of like flopped. I couldn't hold him.
Oh
Couldn't hold him.
man, they try to do you in, man. But
It's
yeah,
cool.
that's you probably didn't even know I knew that. But I
I
really
know that.
remember watching that day. Like, oh, I was excited. Like, Dom's gonna be out there watching, looking out for you the whole time. Then you got to hold the call. I was like, yeah, he must have did that on purpose.
No, I ain't do that on purpose, man. I don't hold, man. I don't commit penalties.
But have you gone? I know you played. How many stadiums have you visited? Because right now, as a fan, I got a goal to go to every NFL stadium. I've been to about like 11 now, but
Right.
every year I try to go to like 3 or 4 different ones. But have you gone to like every stadium?
I haven't been to every stadium, but I mean it's a goal for me. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I want to make sure when I go, I'm watching the team that I want to win. I don't like to just go to the stadium, just to see the stadium, because I'm coming from the fan to a former employee. Now it's like when I come to the stadium, I actually want to watch a team that I want to see play. But no, I haven't been to all the stadiums in the NFL.
Okay. And so let's just wrap up your NFL career, man. Any advice for any kids that's coming up that's out there playing work? Because you do a lot of right now working with kids. You work at St. Joe's Prep with those football kids, right?
Yep.
Or you
Yep.
guys at Eagles training camp yesterday?
Yeah, we was at Eagles training camp because Swift and Alumide, they both former prep players. They was there before I got there. But one thing about prep is they take care of their alumni, man. They alumni always come back, and just to have the opportunity for our current players to go see our alumni, on the field and be able to talk to them and get that advice, that close advice. It means a lot to them because now their turn, they were, but now they're more of a inspiration to these guys because they can see, they can feel, they can touch and talk to. Man, I just interacted with an NFL player, not just a handshake, but we talk, we bust it up, we laugh, we joke, and we talk about life. Like that goes a long way for a lot of young guys.
And it came from where I came from.
And it came from where I came
He
from.
walked through these same hallways as I did, so
Yep.
that definitely put some motors in some people back. Are you guys ready for the upcoming football season?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We opened up our training camp actually this upcoming Monday, and we got a big first game. We play IMG. They're ranked
down in Florida.
Yeah, we play at the Battle of the Beach in Jersey.
Okay,
but they're ranked 4th in the country. We're currently ranked 11th in the country. We got some guys, man. We got some dogs.
That's how you got to start off. Start off strong.
Yeah, got to.
You got to. But before we got on camera, we was talking about how when you see things, you like to support it, man. Where did that come from?
Just come from my grandmom, my dad, my aunt, my mom. My grandma, like you said, Archer, she was living there for years. And one thing that she always did was she educated the neighborhood. You come to her house, you get a book. She'll give you food. She used to sell cookies. She'll give you cookies. Remember the butter cookies? Sell them to 3 4 quarters. So she used to sell the butter cookies. She used to make cakes, sell slices of cake, and people just come knock on the door, and we sell that stuff. They have it. She'll give certain stuff out. But she always made sure that she had a house where people could come in and read. People could come and learn how to count. She always made sure she kept the way Archer Street looked. She always was somebody that was out there sweeping a lot. And that just showed like she always took care of her community. She always supported her community. She used to sell up on 20th and Erie. You remember that? When they used to have a market?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember the market?
You remember that?
They used to have a market up at 20th and Erie. They used to have a market, and people used to be outside, vendors used to be outside selling stuff. She was somebody up there that used to be selling over there. So she just really was big on community, and it instilled in me because my dad do the same thing. My mom does the same thing, and my aunt Princess, she do the same thing. So it's just in my blood.
Yeah, and a lot of times it don't even cost money to even support. It's just showing up, just being the voice, or just sharing. There's anything, you know what I mean? So a lot of people like think it's pulling your arm and leg to go support.
Right.
And it actually feels good once you do it.
Right, yeah.
the feeling is afterwards. Because my mom, she kind of do the same thing and things like that, support. And I just remember times where my mom tried to make it to every single game, no matter who I was playing for, where I was playing at. and just the feeling of her being there, I was like, I gotta like share this feeling with somebody else. I'll be there for you if you need me to be there, because you know sometimes you look up and there's nobody there. It's like, damn. But that time when you do see it, it's like a great feeling. So I always try to pass that on and try to like support any way I can too. So I can feel
shout out
that.
to mom. Shout out to mom.
Yeah, man. But so what are you getting into these days other than coaching and mentoring and supporting, just being there? What else are you getting into these days?
So, well, currently I work with the NFL alumni, and my position is National Director of Memberships and Communication. So, with the alumni, we have chapters throughout the country. So we have them in Atlanta, we have them in Texas, California, upstate New York, all over, and we have memberships in there. So I just make sure that we obviously keep our membership count up, but I also make sure that the communication gets passed through them effectively to each chapter, so that they can get money by fundraising, so that way they can support the local community, so that way they can support the local youth. So it's something that it's a lot that I do, but at the same time, it's something that I've been doing for years.
Yeah, you just kind of described it before you even talked about what you do as a job. So it's like the perfect job for you. Yeah. You fit right in.
I fit right in, like, right in. I mean, I've been these past couple years, man. I've really been just pushing like former player. Like, I was working up in New York, and as
so
easy
you
as
commuted from Philadelphia to New York every day.
That's what I was about to say. As easy as it sounds, working in New York is exciting, but to travel from Philly to New York every day, man. I mean, it's grueling. You know, it takes a toll on your body, and I found a way to make it a little bit easier by getting me a scooter. But that only knocked 20 minutes off my round trip. I still was on the train for
man,
3 hours a day.
You putting that work in, man, and it's paying off. So are you still going to New York?
No. Actually, the office is in New Jersey now, so it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
I'm able to coach at prep in the morning, and I'm able to make my other sons practice at E9 in the afternoons. So it works out now. Works out.
That's good, man. I mean, I'm glad to see you still thriving, doing things that you love and enjoy. And I want to thank you for coming on. Is there any people want to follow you or?
Oh yeah, you could follow me on Instagram, Dom Curry 18. It's not Twitter no more; it's called X. So you can follow me on X. Curry, yeah.
That's why I got the X app.
I was like, "What is this?" And
I never clicked on it though. I was like, "What's this X app?"
Yeah. That's how I found out. I saw the X. I clicked on it, like, "What is this?" And it was Twitter. So follow me on X, Dom Curry _18. But before we get out of here, man, I'm gonna give you some stuff, man.
Oh, you got a gift for me?
Yeah, I got you a hat.
Oh man, I'm official.
And then I got you a picture, man.
Oh yeah, I got the holding call, baby.
I mean, because you my guy, man, and I make sure.
Oh man, check this out right here.
People,
I'm official now. I'm feeling good. I really appreciate this.
I got you, bro.
I was going right up in the man cave.
I got you. Hands.
Well, this has been another episode of Gas, That Good Ass Show with your boy 23 Drees. We got the special guest Dom Curry here. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all can follow me at 23 Drees on Instagram, on X, and also on TikTok. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share. All right.